How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Today I'm going to give you the highlights of a book full of vital and beneficial information that will guide you to make your first or your new stock purchase. The book is called The Warren Buffett Way. It was written by Robert G. Hagstrom. The foreword is by Bill Miller and the introduction by Kenneth L. Fisher. Don't worry, everyone. You can rest assured that the information in the book is going to be reliable and credible, since the authors have actually met with Warren Buffett and actually worked with him on a personal level and business level as well. Let's begin by talking about the man himself, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett was born in Omaha, Nebraska on the 30th of August in 1930. He had a unique fascination for numbers ever since he was a kid and loved solving mathematical problems. To top this off, his father was a local stockbroker, so it was no surprise when his family members and friends found Warren Buffett reading his father's stock market books. Numbers and equations were already being implanted in his DNA at such a young age. Years later, Buffett graduated from Columbia Business School with a master's degree in economics. He then went on to work for the Graham Newton Corporation, which was owned by one of his ex-professors, Benjamin Graham. A lot of people reaffirmed that Graham was the first person to start using the term financial analysis in the business world. He worked in Wall Street and experienced a 1929 market crash. This was a time where Graham's skills and knowledge were put to the test. He was able to help out a lot of people regain their losses that happened during the stock market crash, and actually build a profit-gaining action plan for them to get back on their feet. Benjamin Graham focused on analyzing a company's assets, earnings, dividends, and most importantly, on constructing an estimated amount of the company's future earnings. Therefore, he put a lot of effort on analyzing and getting the most accurate statistics and critical numbers of a company's income statements to make his next decision. Graham was a firm believer in having a well-diverse stock portfolio in order to reap the most benefits out of the stock market. His books have taught the crucial dynamics of investing to many economists and investors today. I personally plan on reading one of his books in the near future. The next person depicted in the book was also one of Buffett's mentors, Philip Fisher. After the 1929 stock market crash, he decided to open his own investment counseling firm called Fisher & Company, and he opened it on March 1st, 1931. Fisher took financial analysis a bit further and enjoyed deciphering every step of the manufacturing process of a company. He was mainly searching for the profit margin of a company. The profit margin is the amount of revenue from sales which exceeds the cost of the company. This plays a crucial role in the success of any business. Fisher believed that every investor needed to be aware of how well a management team is doing in the company. These are a few examples of the type of questions that Fisher would ask himself and would make sure he got the answers up. Does management maintain a healthy relationship with the shareholders and the employees of the company? Do they distribute the assets accordingly or unfairly to the shareholders and the employees? Does management make more sales than losses on a consistent basis? Is management being transparent about the company's profits or the next moves that they're trying to make or the losses they're taking? About everything in general that's going on in the company that most of the employees and shareholders don't hear about because they're not in management as well, of course, you know. He then takes this information and compares this information with their company's competitors and uses this to make his final decision. This is true. Without unity amongst the shareholders and the management team, a company will not strive in progress and will eventually fall apart altogether. Another one of Buffett's mentors is John Burr Williams. He graduated from Harvard in 1923 and also worked through the rough times of the 1920s as a security analyst for two well-known Wall Street firms. The aftermath of the 1929 stock market crash made Williams realize that he needed to be more acclimated with economics. Ultimately, this led him to go back to Harvard to graduate from the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences with an advanced degree in economics. He is the author of the book called The Theory of Investment Value, which in Buffett's words is one of the most important investment books ever written. Williams' theory is known as the dividend discount model, which devises a plan to determine the amount of profit or money a stock will earn over its lifetime. After finding this number, Williams then subtracts it from the present value of the stock to paint a vivid picture in the mind and know how much money he will earn over the lifetime of the stock, Williams' ultimate goal is to devise a plan that will ultimately add value to any stock that he is thinking about purchasing or helping, his clients purchase. This book has created a strong foundation of knowledge for many great investors and business leaders today. Warren Buffett's methodology of evaluating stocks and a company's overall success derives from John Burr Williams' excellence. The last mentor or influencer depicted in this book is actually one of Buffett's most bestowed associates in his businesses today. His name is Charlie Munger. Charlie and Warren are actually from the same town in Nebraska. Munger worked for Buffett's grandfather in a market that he owned while he was growing up. The funny thing is that both of these guys never met while they were actually growing up in Omaha. They met through a mutual party, Dr. Davis, who believed that both of these guys should meet. Dr. Davis arranged a dinner for both of them to meet when Charlie Munger was going to come back to Omaha for his father's funeral. At dinner, surprisingly, both of these guys had a lot to talk about, and both found out very quick that they had a keen interest for securities or stocks, whatever you want to call it. Charlie Munger was currently working at a law firm in Los Angeles, California, and Warren Buffett had just started his first investment partnership called the Buffett Partnership Ltd. Warren Buffett suggested Munger to leave his law firm practice and just focus on investment by itself. Charlie didn't listen to Buffett right away. As he went back to Los Angeles, he kept working for his law firm for a couple of years. A little bit after those 2 years went by, Charlie Munger decided to open up his own investment partnership. During this time, both Buffett and Munger had very similar stock portfolios. One of the companies that both of these guys had a significant amount of money invested in was called the Blue Chip Stamps. This is the company where Charlie Munger eventually became the chairman of the board of directors. To become the chairman of a company, you must possess a lot of personality traits that not a lot of people possess. Charlie Munger's personality traits and investment strategies were definitely shaped by somehow his law practice skills, This was a trait that Warren Buffett did not have as much as Charlie Munger, and which also made their partnership a lot stronger and more successful partnership in overall. Destiny brought these two individuals together again as they both decided to merge their companies into one. Charlie Munger was in charge of Blue Chip Stamps, and Warren Buffett is in charge, or was in charge, and still is in charge of his company Berkshire Hathaway. Their companies have done extremely well, as they have outperformed the Dow Jones for a lot of years throughout these last couple of decades. For everyone who doesn't know who or what is the Dow Jones is pretty much, let me read the actual acronym for it, or the abbreviation for it. Dow Jones is or as they call it in the market today, the Dow is pretty much the Dow Jones Industrial Average. This clearly demonstrates both of their top-notch investment skills, as they pretty much outperformed the market for a lot of years, that have passed, decades. If you could beat the entire market, and still make more profits than most of the people that are investing in the market and most of the big companies, that says a lot. It's hard to find a Warren Buffett interview or video here on YouTube where he actually doesn't mention his buddy Charlie, and as he's talking about the business, his strategies, what his next move is, or talking about his company success or his income statements or any event that he has coming up. Benjamin Graham, Philip Fisher, John Burr Williams, and Charlie Munger have played a huge role in Warren Buffett's early career and his investment strategies and his business ventures, throughout all these years, and continue to do so today. Of course, these guys haven't been the only mentors and role models in his life, but those are the only ones that the book really talks about and goes in depth, explaining. Buffett implemented their teachings throughout his entire career. He gathered up their strengths and mixed them well with his own ideas and personality traits. Warren Buffett has one of the most diverse stock portfolios in the entire world today and continues to progress in today's market. His net worth is almost worth $80 billion. Buffett has done so well in the stock market because he's actually sat down and thought about the long term of a stock and of what the company might do, in the how well they might do in the future, and hasn't just wanted to purchase the stock and sell his stock right away to make profits. Unfortunately, this is something that a lot of people do, and why a lot of people end up not being successful in the stock market. This is something that Buffett, really pushes down on. Like, if you want to invest, make sure that you're doing it for the long term, not just for the short term. Don't think that you're gonna buy a stock and sell it right away and make your money and that'll be it. Things take time. In order for anyone to do this, you need to understand the company, what the company is trying to accomplish, what their products is doing, what the products do, what's the purpose of having those products. You need to be knowledgeable of the company. You can't just pick a company just because you hear it on TV or you hear your friend invested in that company or you heard this person put so much money down on this company. No, you have to really do your research and focus on the company you're going to invest in. Buffett also wants us to think of ourselves as not just stock purchasers, but as company owners, because technically you're buying into a company, so you're getting a piece of the pie. Like you're somewhat an owner of a company, but of course you're not gonna, depending on how much you put down on a company, you're not gonna own the whole company. You're gonna own a piece of the company. Warren Buffett also hopes that your stock portfolio stays diverse. He learned that from his mentors, and of course he has implemented it in his life and his stock purchasing. Let me give you just a few examples of the companies that he's bought into and bought stocks into, and he's actually part owners, or for some of these, he's the actual owner of these companies. I'm pretty sure. Who doesn't know this one? Coca-Cola. He bought so many stocks for Coca-Cola back in when the company was barely starting up. He bought a lot, and he profited so much from that, and he's still a stock owner from Coca-Cola. Whereas guys, company Gillette, the razors. He actually bought a lot of those stocks when the company was coming up back in the 30s or 20s, 40s. I think it's 40s or 50s. I don't know, between 30s and 50s. And he bought a lot of those shares during that time. And that company's probably one of the most well-known razor companies throughout the world. Not just here in the U.S., everywhere. Other companies he's also invested in are, just to name a few, I have a huge list of them right here. The Washington Post. Who doesn't know about the Washington Post? Delta Airlines, American Airlines, tile companies, Walmart, General Motors, AT&T, Verizon, Apple, Wells Fargo's, Heinz, the ketchup, Philips, the electronic company, Sirius XM Radio, Deere and Co., which is agricultural machinery company. Those are usually the machines that you see farmers using, those big green machines that you see the farmers using, whether cutting into the dirt, cutting the dirt and getting the soil set up for growing season. Another well-known company that a lot of us know about is See's Candies. He's also part owner. I'm not 100% sure if he's the owner of that company, but I know he owns a lot of that company. Another one is BNSF. That's a railroad company that probably a lot of us here in California see. On the side of the freeways there, you see the trains go by. They have those big letters BNSF. He practically owns that company as well. Of course, one of his main companies, Berkshire Hathaway, and that company does so many. They have so many companies that they do work for and that work under them. It's crazy. There's pretty sure I could make a whole video just on that, talking about that company, because they have so many different things that they do. It's hard to just name one. That's a huge company, probably one of the biggest that he owns, Berkshire Hathaway. The other one is, pretty sure you've seen the commercial for this one, Geico. It's an insurance company with the little chameleon, the little lizard, Pretty sure everyone has seen that one. He's the owner of that company. So you can already see that why he's so successful, why he has the type of money that he has, and has done so much for all these companies and has profited from it and prospered from it. I truly recommend this book if you really want to start buying stocks and start trading and all of that. If you want more knowledge about the stock market, what to look for in companies, what you want to invest in and all of that. I really suggest buying this book and actually reading it and taking notes on it, and learning something from it that could be useful for the rest of your life, especially here in the U.S. Any questions, comments, you can leave them below. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you learned from it. Hopefully you got something from it. You laughed. Whatever it is. Hopefully you got something from it. All right, everyone. Take care. Peace and love, y'all.